We're Roger and Michelle, row me. For 8 years, we cruised the Thousand Islands on our 40-foot aluminum trawler, and it was amazing. Now we're setting off on a new adventure, the Great Loop. So come aboard. Join us as we travel America's Great Loop and plan a hop over to beautiful Bahamas. In this episode, we begin the American portion of our Great Loop. We cross into the United States, dodge wakes in the Straits of Mackinac, and learn about swell, all whilst being treated to Lake Michigan's northeastern shoreline.
Heading into the U.S. today, time to put up our U.S. courtesy flag.
This water is insane. Beautiful, beautiful turquoise. Just calling out for us to go for a swim. Oh, but baby, look at that water. I mean, that is incredible. The dip, however, well, let's just let the thermometer speak for itself. When we came upstairs to this view, I got worried. No, please tell me there's no fog. But no, there's no fog. That's just dew on the windows. So we are fog free. So happy, here we are, the fog has lifted and we are approaching the Mackinac Bridge. You see the two pillars in the distance and it's a really nice sight to see after you've been bogged down in this fog. The bank was just sitting there not moving. There's of course the water's flat, not a ripple, and I guess you got to expect that. Wow, check out this water. This is the water in our anchorage. It is unbelievable. Hopefully not too cold for us to go for a dip. We're going to try.
We made it through the Straits of Mackinac. Yeah, Straits of Mackinac.
Hairy. It was hairy going through there. A lot of commercial traffic.
A lot of commercial traffic is because we're going so slow. So it's like, oh, here comes a boat. Give it a half hour. So you're wondering if you're going to collide. You know, it takes a half hour to get there. If we're up on plane, we probably would have just zigzagged right through everything and been all right.
And a lot of ferries.
Yeah, 2 designated ferry routes on Aquamax, but there are a number of them didn't take the actual ferry route, so that was a surprise.
It was a surprise, and the sheer number of ferries, and all the pleasure boats.
And then throw a couple of...
all the wakes. Oh my gosh, dodging wakes like mad.
It was bouncy.
Yeah, it was rough.
And throw a couple of cargo ships on top of that. Makes for a pleasant day of boating.
First time in your life you've been passed by cargo ships, huh?
Yeah, first time. You gotta get a faster boat, man. That's embarrassing.
And maybe it's really not so bad, but you know, we have spent the past couple of months, more than 2 months, really in just, you know, slow go heaven. No commercial traffic anywhere. It's just been peaceful as can be. La-di-da-di-da. And then you arrive in Mackinac.
And everybody else arrives at the same time.
Hello.
Yeah. You make it through Mackinac, suddenly there was no traffic at all. We're in this lovely bay.
Yeah.
We're the only ones here. Love sitting on the dunes. You can call me Mr. Sandman. Maybe a dream. Your chariot awaits.
Oh, thank you, darling. We are totally out of anything fresh. I mean, I'm talking our fridge is bare. But we have pasta. So boiling some pasta. And you know, I've got a jar of spaghetti sauce and Kraft Parmesan cheese and extra virgin olive oil. And I do have a bottle of Italian Prosecco chilled in the fridge. Sauce and cheese to your liking, and I drizzle like just not even a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil on top. Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti.
Gotta like spaghetti.
For the 3rd night in a row.
Love it. Molto bene, molto bene. These frigging fitted sheets aren't all that fitted. I always have to fix them. side, and then the other side.
Oh, should take mine off too?
Yeah. This one.
You can do it, honey.
There we go. No problem.
In each of our anchorages so far in Michigan, we've noticed a horrible swell that comes in and, I mean, I'm starting to get seasick. It's that bad. So, same thing last night. Here we are in front of these incredibly beautiful sand dunes and it just a spectacular anchorage and dead calm, but I just couldn't take the swell. So we tried moving to the northeast and tuck ourselves out, get ourselves out of the swell zone. But discovered the bottom rock hard, solid rock. There is no sand to be had in that area. So we had to come back and to help counter that swell, Roger put out a back anchor and that helped immensely. Weather has now turned. We had some rain overnight. We had some good rain overnight, which we probably needed because boy, we've had nice weather. But the winds are really nice and we are going to get going and head south. I am no limnologist, but honey, walk me through your route planning.
Well, you see, Lim, we're headed south along the eastern side of Lake Michigan. So today's weather had the winds coming offshore. So from the east and pretty strong, but still coming offshore. So great time to head south. And so we came around the corner and suddenly there were some swells that I did not account for on Lake Michigan. And it got probably 4 foot period of 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds. So it got a little rough and not enough space in between the rollers to turn around. So we did discuss the A word.
Yeah.
Abort. So sometimes it's not a good idea to continue, and we are 5 miles out from our anchorage with 20 miles left to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to do something. So we decided, well, let's get closer to shore. We're about a mile offshore. Let's get closer to shore, and hopefully the waves will die down. We can turn around and go back. We headed towards shore, and it ended up that the waves weren't nearly as bad near to shore. So instead of taking a beeline to our destination, we decided to follow the coast. Added a few extra miles, but the ride was way more comfortable. The problem I had was I was right on the weather, I think, and right on the wind, and the route planning was good. What I didn't account for was Lake Michigan's swell. No idea where that came from. I did look at Windy later that there was a strong southerly wind at the bottom of Lake Michigan. So I can only assume that those swells were the result of that wind, and it made it all the way up here.
Yeah, you learn quick, don't you?
You do learn. So you can't just look at the weather during your route. You have to look at the weather where it came from.
Yeah.
So we'll do that next time.
All right. Michigan has so surprised us with beautiful beaches, endless beaches, sand dunes, and sand bluffs to die for. It is just incredible. I wasn't expecting that. It is just a beautiful surprise. If you like what you see, Michigan, this stuff is all accessible by land. And some of the great attractions on islands are even accessible by ferry. You don't have to have your own loop boat or be doing the loop in order to visit this beautiful state. In the next episode, we live the Michigan life and experience what makes Michigan and Michiganders so special.